Okay, and we're live. This is the OSRA client meeting for Sunday, April 5th, 15, I'm sorry. And here we have Raneem, Tarek, and Ahmed from OSRA, and from the dev team we have Brian, Christian, and myself. So let's maybe start with just a status update from OSRA. How is the application working for you? Any particular problems that you want to bring up to our attention?
Okay, the application is going very well. As I mentioned in my last post, we have uploaded about 90% of the orphans. We face some problems which are, I think, they are under resolving, or they're solved by the setting application, but not it's not the corrections are not on live yet.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So these are mainly the problems. After I wrote the post, I realized that the problems which I faced was resolved by the enhancements and remarks which we discussed before.
Okay.
Okay. Now we are working on the linking of the orphans by their sponsors,
Mm-hmm.
and there are no major problems, but some enhancements which we talked about before.
Okay. Sounds pretty good. So if there's nothing else that from your side, then maybe let's.
I have one thing.
Yes, please.
I wanted to access the feature about the father's debt. I wanted to accept it, but the last time I was testing the feature, something went wrong, and it gave me an error message. I wrote it in Google Plus. If you read it.
Yes, I saw it just a little while ago.
Yeah. And now I cannot upload any actually.
Yeah, so from what I can tell from looking at the logs, there is some kind of a problem right now because when you upload a spreadsheet, we store it on Amazon, and there appears to be a problem of some sort with that storage.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, it seems that Amazon is refusing to accept our uploaded files. So this is something that I will look into, and because Modusem has been the one who created all those storage containers for us on Amazon, I will probably reach out to him, and we'll get it sorted out.
No problem.
Okay. And once that's back up, then I'll let you know, and you can continue testing.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. So we need to resolve storage. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Nick, is this problem on the test program or on live also?
It is only, I've only seen it on the staging server. I looked at the logs for the production application, and I did not see any problems there, at least in the last 24 hours. So I think everything is working well. But of course, if you run into any issues, these storage containers, they're entirely separate. So if there's a problem with one of them, it should not affect any of the others. But yeah, of course, if anything happens on the production, in the production application, please let us know as soon as you can.
Okay.
Okay. So if that's it, then let's jump right into the discussion that I mentioned on Google Plus, and basically that is the fact that since our resources really have diminished since let's say the beginning of the year, we're now in a position where we're stretched, I think, pretty much to the limit as far as what we can do. And as I said, we have begun this kind of behind-the-scenes update to the architecture of the application. And the reason for that is that the original architecture, it was very good for the early stages because it allowed us to build up the application very quickly. But once we started increasing the complexity, it became restrictive. And we ended up kind of fighting against it and having to find workarounds for the new features that we were implementing. And so we decided to get rid of that architecture and replace it with something that would be more flexible and more stable going forward. And that work began when we were at full strength, and unfortunately it was not finished before we lost quite a number of people. And so at the moment we're in a position where, as I mentioned again in my post, for every new feature that we've implemented in the last month and a half, maybe 2 months, we have had to implement it twice, both in the new structure and the old. And given our limited resources, at the moment we only have 3 developers actively contributing to the product. It really is not sustainable, I think, for us to continue doing that. So we have talked, the dev team has discussed it, and we thought that perhaps one solution would be that we would put a freeze on delivering any new features and would focus on completing this transition to the new architecture. But of course we understand that this is something that may inconvenience you in the meantime, because if there are any features that you really need for productivity and you cannot access them for a long time, we don't want you to become disappointed with the application and stop using it because it doesn't do everything that you're interested in. So we're looking for some kind of an acceptable solution here where everybody can be happy and we can move forward at the same time. Tarek, Ahmed, Ranim, what do you think? Is this? Do you see this as a possibility that we can not deliver any new features for a certain period of time going forward and just focus on maintenance?
Just a question. How long will this take?
That's a very good question that we.
Nick,
yeah.
don't you think it's better if we just show at the beginning what are we working on, the wireframe?
Well, the wireframe is not exactly what we're working on per se, right?
Well, but it's an idea.
It's the face of, it's the future face, let's say, but it's not. But it's probably not a bad idea to share it. Except I can never remember where I can find it.
I think it's on Confluence somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Actually, of course, when you see that this is the best solution, so it is. But we just want to just take in consideration how much will it take approximately. We have to be specific about.
Yeah. We would like to give you as good of an estimate as we can. Christian, when you and I talked about it on Thursday, we were thinking about, do you remember, we were thinking about at least a month?
Yeah, we said a month, but since the Easter holidays are around, maybe until middle of May.
That's almost a month.
It seems I cannot open it.
I have it here, I'll share it.
Yeah, okay, please. Okay, so on Christian's screen, you can see this is, so we reached out to a designer, a web designer, and we asked him to kind of have a look at the entire interface. and think about improvements and streamlining, and this is the UI that he came up with. But it's important, I want to make it clear that the main reason we're doing this work is not to change the interface, but to change the architecture. So the major changes to the application will actually, you will not see them. You might notice them because things are, they might run faster, or it might be faster in the future for us to deliver new features to you. And this change in the interface is only a side effect, I would say. So we're now at the beginning of April. Yeah.
I would like to add, it could also attract more developers because the framework that we're switching it to is more widely used.
Right. Yeah, this is something that we ran into a couple of times, is that when new people join the project, they were initially confused by its structure because of this unusual architecture that we were using from the beginning. And so when new people come on board, it's much easier for them to get their bearings with the new setup.
Well, I believe that, of course, whatever you say that is the best solution, so that is the best solution. And I think that we are, if we get to apply the changes which have been already, which we have already tried and accepted, if we implement those into the live version of the program,
Mm-hmm.
I think we can continue with no problems for the period, for the changing period.
Okay.
Actually, we still need some time to make sure all the names are right and all the linkings, all the linking is going properly before we can start using other features of the application.
Okay. Now, I also want to point out that this doesn't mean that we're going to become unavailable. We would definitely be reachable, especially for any bug fixes or any kind of. Let's hope that it never happens, but in any kind of emergency situation, we would be around. We're here. So the only thing that we're talking about is not working on any new features, but we will continue to maintain the application. So if anything breaks, if you realize that something really needs to be improved, we would be definitely available for that.
Is it possible to implement the things we worked on already?
Is it easy?
Can you tell me what specifically you were thinking about when you say that?
The thing you put on Google Plus earlier and we accepted.
Oh yeah, those things definitely. Whatever we have sent to you for to test, everything that the things that you're testing right now. I think there is one more feature still that you're testing. That's the one that Ranim referred to when she said that she ran into problems, and everything else that you have accepted to date either already is on the production server or will be on the production server very soon.
Tarek and I were speaking about one last feature to implement before going to the correction mode of the
New design.
yeah. We were thinking about linking multiple orphans to one sponsor
at one time.
At the time.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
we could get to choose more than one orphan and link together. That would make my life and our lives much easier. especially when working on all the big number of orphans we are working on now.
Sure. Okay.
It's
Yeah, I think it's something that we can definitely work on it before going into maintenance mode. I've thought about this feature a little bit. I haven't really started doing any work on it, but the thing that I was slightly uncertain about how to implement is because, of course, every sponsor has a maximum number of orphans that they've requested to sponsor. And so when you're doing these multiple linkages, you need to make sure that you don't select more orphans than the sponsor is prepared to sponsor. So this validation has to happen sort of in real time, and this might be something that well, we'll discuss it with the rest of the dev team, and we'll let you know sort of what kind of a solution we're thinking of for that, and then we can decide together on what's acceptable.
Can we work around this this problem by choosing or by accepting the first orphans only? Let's say that let's say that a sponsor requested 5 orphans and we have selected 8 orphans, so the system can accept the only first 5 orphans and just to decline the other links.
That definitely would be a simple solution. So as long as you don't have a particular preference for which orphans you link.
First by first.
Okay. Yeah. If it's as easy as that, then I think it would be a very
just make the life easier for this time. Maybe later, maybe we can develop that. But for now, because this feature is really important for us, because we have some sponsors who they have more than 10 sponsorships. This will cause a lot of work for us.
What about if I can propose maybe a slight alternative? So on the screen that you see Christian is sharing right now, the flow right now is that you click on the sponsor this orphan button and you are taken to the sponsor page. What if instead you effectively stayed on the same page? So that you click the button, the sponsorship is created, but you're taken back to the same page.
Fine. Just we will stay on the same page, but when we click the sponsor on the button of sponsor this orphan, it will be linked then, and we can choose another one on the same page, right?
That's right. Yeah. So you are not taken back to the sponsor page, and then you have to click on the link to orphan again. You just stay here.
I think this will be much easier. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So Christian, Brian, and Gabrielle and myself will discuss that, and I think we should be able to implement it fairly quickly, and deliver it to you before we start our maintenance work.
Okay. I don't know, Raheem, do you have anything to say?
No, nothing else.
Okay. Since me and Ahmed are together, we did not talk about these things before. Do you have any comment?
No.
Okay, sounds well. And I guess the other thing I want to point out is that none of these decisions ever have to be final. If we go into maintenance mode, but then you realize that there are some new features that you really cannot be productive without, we can work on them and deliver them, prioritize them, and then go back to maintenance. So these things are flexible. Nothing is ever final. Does anybody else have anything else to say on this subject?
side. Raheem, do you have anything?
No?
No.
Everything is okay.
Okay. And if not this, then is there anything else for us to discuss tonight?
We appreciate your time, and sorry for this quantity of enhancements, but
Oh,
this
no.
the application.
I want to point out again that we enjoy the work. We like it. We wish we could do it more. Send us more work to do. It's just that, like I said, time is the only limiting thing here.
But the lack of resources is the problem.
Yeah, basically that's the only thing that's holding us back here.
Okay.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, then Raneem, Tarek, and Ahmed, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Please keep in touch on Google+. As soon as we resolve the issue with Amazon storage, I will let you know so that you can continue testing on the staging server. And basically keep watching for new features being deployed to the production application as well.
Okay.
Okay. So, thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Brian, Christian, what do you guys think about this ability to link to multiple sponsors at the same time? What kind of workflow do you see for that? That would be, I mean, when we were thinking about having checkboxes where you select a few orphans and then just click a button to sponsor them all, then
Yeah. So yeah, I have something to say about that.
Mhm.
The checkbox thing, I don't think is going to happen in the active admin side. There's technical limitations that I was dealing with before.
Yeah.
As far as form tags and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and active admin moves your form tags around on you. It was a severe issue to the highest degree, and yeah, I think the one you said where it just doesn't redirect you to the other page is by far the most elegant way to handle that. Now, in the HQ side, said things are not issues, so.
Yeah. But yeah, basically the way I see it is that once you click on a button and the controller fires, it basically checks if the sponsor's limit has been reached, then it redirects to the sponsor, and if it hasn't been reached, then it redirects to back to the new sponsorship page.
Yeah, I agree too. That's the easiest way to go, at least for the active admin. Let's keep that.
Okay, so I think that issue is already in Jira, so we don't need to create anything. It's all in place. So basically, let's prioritize that. Let's get it done, and then go. Yeah, just go full speed at Rails, and get it finished.
Yeah.
All right.
On a side note, I would like to add that I should be finding out soon if I'm going to have a little bit more time. And if I do, I would really want to work on more stuff for OSRA, but I haven't found that out yet, so.
Okay. Well, that would be supremely useful for us. So.
Are you getting fired?
No, it's non-work related.
I was joking, sorry.
Because
Oh.
because if that's what it was, and we could somehow facilitate that process, you know. Yeah. All right, guys. If there's nothing else, then Christian, I'll probably see you on Tuesday, and Brian, take it easy.
Okay.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Talk
Bye,
to you
guys.
soon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.